we were a little bit late because we had a few little technology things. Everyone's online right now, aren't they? Everyone is connecting, socially at a distance, but on our wonderful internet. So, of course, it's taken a little bit of time to get things going. So, thanks for being here and sharing with us. What we'd love you to do is just relax, because we're just going to talk about energy and want to involve you in that conversation as well. So if you have questions, you have thoughts, if you have inspirations, wisdom that you want to share with us as well, please share it, and we'll pop your questions and your thoughts, etc., on the screen when I get down the chat here, because I can see you in the chat, and I can just put if you've not used this particular system before, you'll see a link in the description that says StreamYard. So if you can just click on that link, it's StreamYard.com/Facebook. And then it gives us permission so that we can see your image and we can see your name. So it doesn't just say Facebook user, but I can see lots of you have used it before already because I can see your names. Yay! Good to see you. And I see that we've just got the energy of Masami here right now, but I would love to introduce you to Cathelijne, who is my friend from the Netherlands. And we've known each other for a long time, haven't we? I don't know how long, but yeah.
I don't know either.
I know, isn't that funny?
How did we find each other? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's been that long. Cathelijne works with the angels and with dragons and with crystals and all kinds of different things. And you can see behind her, she's got her angels and her angel sculpture, and so just moving it around.
Moving around.
My thing is angels as well. I love that. And my thing is angels too, so got the angels everywhere. And then Masami, who is energetically returned, that's good. Masami Covey is a medical intuitive, and we only met this last year, didn't we? And it feels like a soul sister. And Masami works with your body and the energy of your system as well. So she tunes in to who you are to help you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And her specialty is, of course, working with nutrients, your nutrients, but it's not just nutrients on the physical realm, it's nutrients on all other dimensions of being, which is kind of interesting because we're moving into this fifth dimension, aren't we? That's the thing, we're all moving into this new energy of the fifth dimension, where thought creates everything, where we are we're connecting with love, etc. So welcome, those of you that are popping up in. So good to see so many of you. It's lovely to see you. So what I thought we would do is we're just going to talk about the energy and how we feel, what's going on, and just like we would if we were sitting around a table or sitting in a living room and just chatting. So what I'm going to do is, I think what we'll start with, just to begin with, is maybe just to ground ourselves, because we started, when we started, we were trying to get all the technology going. It was like, oh, what's going on? So I think we need to just ground, and I'm sure that as you're coming on here with working with technology as well, I think that one of the things we don't always realize is that we're working with this electromagnetic system, and we're electromagnetic beings, and so sometimes it can be a little bit kind of jarring on your energy being. So it's good just to ground and surround yourself with light and protection, and just to be open to whatever comes in that feels right for you, that resonates with you. Because sometimes we hear information and we might think to ourselves, nah, that's not right. Or, oh, really? Yeah, let me embrace that. And it may be that it's not necessarily right for you at this time. Trust that. Trust your intuition. We all have our own truths, right? We all have our own different ways of relating to things. So just to begin with, let's just ground a little bit. I don't want to take all the time up me talking. I want to give everybody else a chance to talk, but I just want to start with this first.
I can listen to you all day, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Honest.
Oh, that's good. Hey, you know what's interesting is I just noticed you're in a corner, Masami,
Oh.
and so are you, Cathelijne. You've got a corner behind you
Yeah.
as well.
Normally I'm not,
Isn't
but
that?
yeah.
Yeah, that's really
It feels
interesting.
right for me. I just need to be hugged right now. So
Yeah.
It feels like that dimension thing, though. You know, it does. It feels like
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah, different dimension.
And I think it's so interesting that you say that, because for me, it feels like I'm 1/3 in 3D and 1/3 in 5D with all that's happening. It's like you're sort of shifting back and forth. And when I'm in the 3D, I really feel all the collective fear and all the collective stress and also all the collective grief. And then when I'm in 5D, I can sort of see the higher level stuff and know, we're in this pivotal time and it's time of change. And if we take it the way it's supposed to, and if we stand in our light, we can make that shift further towards 5D. But it feels like it's it's just back and forth. Yeah,
that's exactly what's happening. We're really balancing the 3D and 5D because we still have this physiology that we have to take care of. Our psyches are going into the 5D fully. So it's having to straddle is what we're all doing. So it's, at times we just feel like we're getting ripped, or we're just getting separated. But we're actually holding two spaces at the same time, which is two truths are available to all of us. So
yeah.
I love that. I picked this. We're not getting the earthing grounding part in, but we will do. I picked this card. This card came up, and it's the eight of Pentacles. And normally with the Eight of Pentacles, it's about that balance as well. You see that balance in it, and it's so interesting to me because that I picked this for what we need to know at the moment, and this is us shining our light and opening up. And these are there's an aspect of balance. It's in the eight. It's 8 chakras, and as opposed to 7 chakras. So it's moving up. It's ascending. Yeah. Oh, crikey. All right then. So with that, let's just ground our energy to begin with. So just for a moment, close your eyes. If it feels right for you to close your eyes, that is. Allow your energy just to come into a nice settled place. So take a few deep cleansing breaths while I turn off my phone.
I'm just thinking, I've got my phone here as well. Let's hope it doesn't ring.
I know, the divine is calling. So let's just take a few deep cleansing breaths, just allowing yourself to be centered, grounded in this present moment. And as you breathe out, allow your body to relax, to let go. And I'd like you to imagine, visualize, sense, know that you're surrounded by light, that you are the light, that everything is light. Come into this place of light, come into this center that is you. And allow your light to shine. That's it. Let that light shine outward, upward, within, downward, into the earth. And imagine as the light shines, the rays of that light go through your legs, down into your feet, down into the earth chakra beneath your feet, and into the earth, the core of the planet. And as we connect to the planet and remember that we are on a journey with this most beautiful vibration of energy that we call Earth, and allow that energy to come up into your body through those rays of light. Come into your heart, into your mind, into your emotions, into your spiritual self, into every level of your being, every dimension of you. And let that light shine, expand, grow, and glow. That's it. That's it. And let's imagine that all of us are in this light and we're sitting together around a fire, around a table, around a crystal. And we've come together for a meeting. And that meeting is to share not just information, but light and healing and love. And let's call in all our guides and angels, our helpers, our spirit team, as we connect together. And let's make an intention that anything that we receive today isn't just about us, that we share this with others, energetically, physically, whatever feels right for you. All right, good. And then when you feel ready, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, open your eyes. Good. Lovely. Yay. So it's kind of funny at the same time, my husband, because we're in, isolation. That word isolation is kind of interesting, isn't it? Because it's got the I at the beginning and it's got the solitary part of it in isolation. Yeah. And yet it's not true. It's just not true. It just, that isolation thing, we might appear to be separate, but we're not. We're one. And I feel that all of this that is happening right now is also going to help us to come together in communities, and our communities are online, and our communities are, there are people like Cathelijne is in the Netherlands, and Masami is in Utah, right?
No,
You're out there in Colorado. I knew it was out there. In the West Coast. That's it, over there. I'm confused. It's funny. And that's the thing, we're not isolated because we're coming together online. So we're a global community, and I feel that an aspect of this is about helping us to connect. Even though we're not connecting physically, we're able to connect energetically, we're able to connect virtually, which is amazing. And more people are coming online right now. And this was the thing when we first started, we were trying to get our internet all working. And and of course everybody's on there, it's everybody, not everybody, but many of us are online right now, and many people haven't been online before, or they haven't done this before. They haven't been in a room before where they've chatted with other people. They haven't heard people from other areas of the world talk and share. And it's not just about what's going on. People are teaching art classes, they're teaching history, they're teaching sciences, children are listening to stories, hopefully online, and doing things that they're learning. And there's so much going on. And so I feel that this is, even though we look at this from the perspective of it's all dire and it's terrible what's happening, at the same time there's positivity that's in this. There's enormous growth that we can get from this, and we're very clever, we're intelligent beings, and we will and are coming up with a solution for what's happening as well. It's just, this is what we're moving through. And so I know it's hard for many people, but we need to move into the fifth dimension of thought is creative, and to start thinking in a different way. And we've been talking about this for a long time, and now it's time to take action, and especially from that thought perspective as well. So I can see you both nodding.
Yes, we're nodding. Yeah. We're totally in agreement, at least I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's it. So, we've been talking about the fifth dimension. Many people have been talking about this shift that's going to happen. And we all chose to be here at this time. So, you know, Cathelijne and Masami and I we're talking about this. We've been in this world. We've been working with the light. We've been working with healing for a long time. But we all have, haven't we? We all have. Everybody has. Just because you're listening to us and here, you know, as a guest, let's say, it's not that we're doing anything different from you. You are a part of this. And we all chose to be here at this time. We all chose to incarnate. And we all chose to shine our light and to be part of this consciousness and to move the planet to this new level. So it's up to us to start focusing on, again, our thoughts, how thought is creative, because it is. And it's not to beat yourself up about this at all, because this has been around for a long time. You know, when it comes to things like viruses, they've been around for a long time. They're just changing, you know, and this one is called, what is it, 19? What does that mean? There's been 18, 17, 16, 15, you know, it's like they've just got another number for it. And so that's the thing. It's there's always this bacteria and viruses and all kinds of stuff that is
There's always
physical.
the unfolding that's happening, you know. Life is unfolding constantly. So there'll be others that will unfold, other things will challenge us, but each time we're kind of getting a reboot. And each time we're elevating who we are so we can show up fully every time.
Yeah, I love that reboot. I was thinking that as well, that we're what is that word? It's a different word that I was thinking of earlier on that was like reboot, but it was something that was just we're something.
Maybe recalibrating.
Recalibrating circuit. Yeah, recalibrating circuit.
Somebody's saying 19 is for the year because it probably originated in 2019.
Interesting.
So then, you know, that's even more if it's for the year.
That's very interesting. Thank you, Eric Jan. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it just felt like, it was earlier than that.
Oh, December 2019. I see.
Yeah, it feels like it's earlier than that. That it came in and that it's just a reiteration.
It's been a growth for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sense of it. Hopefully you can see my photo. I don't see the link to show up. Debbie, you're totally there. Thank you, sweetheart. So, and Lydia said, especially this virus, it's not new. It's not new. There's so much that's, you know, there's so much we can do, though, energetically. And that's what we wanted to talk about, is that energy of what's happening right now, because we're moving into this place of fear. And you know, I was thinking about this just a couple of days ago because in my membership, we're doing Mindset Week. And so when I focus on something, then I start to get inspiration and wisdom, let's say, coming in. But when I'm not focusing on it, then I just, you know, it's like I'm going about my world or my life and I don't have that. It's almost like I'm not plugged into the wisdom, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the week, I asked this question, and what came up for me was there was a memory that came up, and the memory was of Princess Diana dying in 1997. And in Britain particularly, there was the mass catharsis. You know, we released a lot of grief. And at the same time, Mother Teresa died. And there was grief, mass catharsis in India and globally as well. There was a shift. And there was a shift in that energy of grief. Many of us went through this healing of grief, letting go of grief. And I remember I was crying so much from all different parts of my heart. I'd get all these different pains in my heart. And I used to live in a place called Notting Hill. It was just around the corner from where Princess Diana lived. You know, neighbours. We were neighbours. And there was there was a park.
Sure you were.
We were neighbours.
Yes.
And there was a park, and I walked through this park to go to see the flowers that had been placed at the gate at Kensington Palace. And what was interesting to me was there were all these people that were also walking towards the palace. And I could see energetically that with them, they had their family, their family in spirit, their loved ones who had passed into spirit. And I realized in that moment that we were all shifting this grief, not about Princess Diana. That was just the trigger. It was that we were shifting something around our own grief, and that trigger helped us to bring this up. And so the families were coming in energetically to, it's almost like lift us up and connect to us and help us to heal that grief. Oh. Well, it made me think that now this is what's happening. We've had so much fear. There's been so much fear in the world. We've got so much fear in our bodies. There's all this fear in our energy system. And what's happening now on an energy level is about us lifting that fear and releasing that fear, because it's so important. When we move into, and this might sound woo-woo, but when we move into this fifth dimension, we have got to be in control of those thoughts. And we can't control the thoughts, because the thoughts are, they're kind of, they have that life of their own. If we suddenly have this thought that is negative, then maybe we manifest that, So now we need to start moving into this new energy of understanding that and shifting it. And it starts with shifting our fear. And there's only two emotions. This is my belief anyway. And, I read this originally in the Course in Miracles, and it made so much sense that there are only two emotions, love and fear. That if it's not love, it has to be fear. If it's not fear, then it's love. It's looking at it from that perspective. So now in this two-dimensional world, or this polarity rather of, light and dark, the love and fear, maybe we can move that fear out. And then just bring in the love, just bring in the love, so that then we are just in this one energy. And I feel that's what this is about, that it's about
it's
shifting.
Interesting, because I think earlier this week, I was hit with some fear as well. I've got somebody who's close to me who's experiencing the virus in the family, and it's very impacting them. And with all the news, there's so much, when you are a light worker, you are an empath and you are a sensitive person. So that means that you will soak up fear from the collective without knowing it. So at a certain point, I felt that, and I was meditating, I was connected to my spirit guide team. And as I was doing that and their message came through, I was sort of recentering in my heart. So, from the fear-based, immediately I became centered in my heart by lifting the energy towards this communication, and the fear was gone. And so it's very interesting what you were saying. This is such a good example of that when we do really center in our heart and in our higher heart and activate that, and are with that energy and focus on the light that's there, then it's like, when you're in a dark room and you turn on the light, the dark is gone. Because the dark is an absence of light. And the same is when you turn on the love, the fear is gone, because the fear is an absence of love. It's like that. So, yeah. And that's, again, that sort of switch between the two, isn't it? Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Turning on the light as well.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing, isn't it?
This is the time that, as empaths, as light workers, as healers, and as all of us that have been working on this, as spiritual seekers, it's time that we trust and have a little more faith in finding stop the seeking so much, and then know that you have it in you. Tap into that inner knowledge, inner work that you've done for all these years. Some of us been doing this for decades and even, centuries. We've been working on this. So we can trust our tools. We can tap into who we are, that we've been preparing for this. I'm from Japan, so I always tap into more of a Taoism and a little bit more of a concept of the Asian philosophies. But one of the things is always the yin and yang. And in the yin and yang, you really closely look at it. In the yang part, the darkness, you always see that little light always kept in there. The yin is always in there. And then when you look at the yin, there's the dark spot in there. But the dark and light, it's not negative, or, we've got to become a little bit less good or bad. This is light or dark. It's not duality, but we have the power to straddle in those two dimensions, as well as yin and yang, and to see the darkness within the light. That darkness could be grounding energy. The lightness could be uplifting energy. So it's always balancing, because you don't want to fly off into the heavens and skies right now, because you do need to take care of your physiology. You do need to get good nutrients. You need to be drinking plenty of water. And for energy workers and empaths, especially right now, we need to sleep. We need lots of sleep, because there's so much coming at us. And then, we've realized that there's so many people are online. And sensitive people like us are very sensitive to EMFs, so energetic fields that we're bombarded with. So we do, want to take care of that aspects too. So that's why the yin and yang symbol is always reminding us, don't go fully into one thing without forgetting about the groundedness. And then, make sure you don't get sucked into the darkness without addressing the lightness that is in that. So it's choosing the balance. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's true, because it's the shadow, isn't it? It's, you can't ignore the shadow.
No.
We can push it away. It becomes worse. It's like what is that? I'm trying to think. I've gone too much into my right brain, because all the words are in the left brain.
When you see the shadow when you're walking, and you see your own shadow, the only reason you get the shadow is because the light is out, right? The sun is up. That's why you have a shadow. So it's always this beautiful gifts of balancing. And it's very important that we constantly come back to that, because it's so easy to get pulled to one side or the other. And some of you are saying, I'm so tired, I need lots of sleep. Yes, please. Go to bed sooner. Go to bed maybe half an hour earlier than usual. Take naps. Go outside. Be bare feet. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, my husband was saying that this morning, that he needed more sleep and that we need to go to bed earlier. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that tonight. That just came up this morning. That was it. What you resist persists. That was what I was thinking.
Yes.
When you,
interesting. Because, so I guess with what you were saying, I think you made this movement like, can we push the fear away or something?
So, push that back.
In a way, if we go with Masami, it's more like, I think it's more like you've got to embrace the fear with compassion, and then you surround it with love, and then it's sort of, it's part of the love. I think that's kind of what what we need to do, because we do need a lot of compassion on the earth right now. Really, that's really what's needed right now.
And the fear stands for a lot of things, but the popular one is like false evidence appearing real, right? That's one, right? So within the fear, this is your time to practice your contemplation, to practice maybe discernment, to say, what am I fearful of? So we're never fearful of everything. So we, oftentimes we say, oh my gosh, I'm fearful of everything. But no, if we sit back and we can say, you know what? Maybe I'm a little bit fearful right now because maybe I'm watching too much news. That's where the fear maybe is coming from. Or I can honestly say, yesterday, my husband and I did go to Costco like 8 p.m. and there were no toilet papers. I didn't have a full-on fear, but there was this little bit like, what if? I still have some, so I'm good. But so it's important for us to sit back and go, okay, it's not an umbrella term of I'm fearful of everything. But can we get to the maybe specifics and say, can I do something about that? And then fear has other acronyms too. Feeling excited and ready is another one. Or F everything. Like F everything and run is another too. So we don't want to go there, but somewhere.
I love that.
Yeah. So, it's not that we want to eliminate fear, because the fear is actually very important, because it keeps us safe, keeps us grounded, keeps us back to this moment in life that we still live on this, energetic field of 3D, because maybe there's some dark alleys that you shouldn't be walking. So it is important, but like I said, it's always remember there's the yin and yang within the yin and yang. So always tap into the lightness while you're in that. Yeah, so...
Beth is adding face everything and rise. I like that one as well.
Face everything and rise.
Yeah, very nice.
Love that. I've never heard of that. I'm going to put that up on the
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love it.
Beth, did you just come up with that, or is it something that you've heard as well? So Sylvie said, I take a lot of vitamins and zinc, sunlight and sleep, and silence gives me energy. Yeah. So then, for me, I'm an introvert. So I like to, really, I'm an introvert and like to, so this is not unusual for me. This is not something that is hard for me to do. To just be in my office and do my work, be at home, it's my normal. So I wonder, for you two, is that the same for you as well? I mean, are you introverts, or do you find that you're extroverts? Do you need to be around people to get energy, or is it okay for you to not be with people? My husband likes to be with people, so he gets his energy.
We're the same in this house. I think sometimes there's a little bit of misunderstanding about what an extrovert is, because I am very expressive and open, so I will and you are as well, so I do come across as an extrovert, but I need a lot of me time.
Yeah.
And my health, it makes me in a situation where I am at home a lot, and I work from home. So for me, we're in this sort of isolation here. There is not a lot of change. Well, I do miss my little drives to the beach and my walks on the beach and my walks in the woods, but I don't see people a lot face to face anyways. So for me, this is not a hardship, because I'm kind of used to it. It's a bit different because you feel the fear energy when you're out there. And obviously you need to, there's weird things happening at the supermarket, notwithstanding toilet rolls, but other things as well. So,
right.
The energy is different, but for me, it's not that hard to be on my own, because I already connect a lot to people, not per se like this, but a lot, through WhatsApp and through calling and things like that. So I can be very close to somebody, even without Elizabeth, we've never met real life, and it doesn't feel like that's the case. We're just, we are friends, and I've got a lot of friends like that who are very close to my heart, and I think one of them is going through this difficulty right now with her family, and there's so much you can do even from a distance, by sending light, by the candle that's lighting is for her family. There's so many things you can do to support each other, even if you have to be indoors. So that means that in your heart you don't have to be alone. Yeah.
And in empaths or highly sensitive people, about 30% of them, statistically, they are extroverts, but they're empathic. So there's a balance. So it's never, and nobody's ever 100% extrovert or is 100% introvert. So we have that. The virtual space has been wonderful. There's been so many deep connections that we're making through this. And at the same time, your touch is very important, and your own voice, so that the most healing voice is your mother's voice, actually. And that can be surprising to some. I have very difficult relationship with my mother. So, however, my mother's voice can calm me down, because we all heard it for however long we were in mother's womb, right? Some of us 10 months, some of us 9 months, some of us 6 months, but we heard mother's voice. So that's the most healing voice. But the second voice is, it's actually your own. So doing some like humming, singing, and then also using your own hands, because these are the most powerful tools we have to hold ourselves. Another one that's instantly wonderful for calming our energies, and we can all do that, is basically here, you're going to hold on to your thumb side. So this side, you wrap your fingers, okay? I'm showing
I'm
you.
confused now.
I'm like, what am I doing?
I like that.
Wings. Okay. Holding
yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, so the other way. So the thumb side you have to hold on. So, okay, so how am I doing this? Okay.
Like this. Yes.
You got it, Cathelijne. Yeah. So you have to kind of do it this way. So the fingers have to touch the thumb side. Okay,
Oh, I get you.
yeah, you got it, yeah.
That's good. I got it. Because
It's
Yeah.
stressful doing this. And you actually put it on your forehead and then you close your eyes and you just take deep breaths. And feel your pulse. And then you can switch the other side. And what it does is these points correspond with all the elements of the earth. And then actually goes to kind of the sixth dimension, even more than the fifth dimension with it. So,
wow.
yeah. So then do the other side. It just balances all your elements. And just take a moment and breathe. Yeah. That might be good to do like right before you go to Costco. I'm saying to myself.
I love that. I love that.
It's super fast. It's super fast.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Leah said my mother walked on several years ago, and my voice is very similar to hers. Mine too. My voice is very similar to my mother's. And I was thinking when you were talking about the voice, oh yeah, I've got some tapes of my mother's voice. I'll have to put that on. Listen to her because she used to.
Yeah.
And Laurel said, it's the same thing, and it is. It's like a baby listening to its mother's heartbeat.
Like this, carrying the baby, and you can do that for yourself. So just kind of lullaby will be great. Just like hold yourself, do this, and just sing a little lullaby that you maybe knew as a kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, because I was thinking this morning as well that music and sound, because we are sound, it's energy, that we need sound, that we need some healing sounds, and we need healing music
Elizabeth,
as well, and have that around
You're
us.
a little crackly.
Oh, am I? So that might be. So I'll shut up for a little bit and you two can talk.
No pressure, Elizabeth.
No, come back, Elizabeth. I love your voice. Seriously.
Because I'm going to look at what's going on and see if I can do something with this. See if it makes any difference.
Yeah, it's kind of similar what happened before. So sound is a bit similar.
So just disable
it's really similar.
And then see if that worked.
Yes.
Does that change it? That changed it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. That's so much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just switching off and switching back on.
Yes. Isn't that what we need to do as well,
I know. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, switch off.
Yeah, or
I think it's back on again.
Tap the TV and an antenna gets adjusted.
Yeah.
That's right. We used to do that. Bang it on the top. That's right. And let's tap. Let's tap ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw a question early on. Somebody asked, like, what kind of a nutrients should we take for our energies and things? That might be good to answer for all three.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know where that question
was. That's a great idea. I'll see if I can find it. So for me, what I'm doing is something that Masami told me to do, which is wasn't for this. It was just in general, which was to drink ginger. So I have fresh ginger, and that's what I've got. That's what I've got in my mug right here. I've got fresh ginger and lemon and honey even though I'm vegan, I eat honey.
Oh,
It's I love that honey. It just feels like it's good for me as well. So I'm doing that. We're taking vitamin C as well, and we're taking zinc, and we're doing vitamin D because it's the winter here in upstate New York. We don't get much sunshine. So
Oh, and
got
it's
that.
Nana Thompson is saying that's my question, so you don't have to go look for it.
okay.
Oh, okay, all right then, that's good.
And that's
That's
4,
good.
4, 4 p.m. at my time, so that's angel
Oh,
time.
it's 11. I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. And I actually take cider vinegar as well, and it's not necessarily for this. It's just that it feels good in my system, the cider vinegar. And my grandmother had this on a different note. My grandmother had arthritis, and her hands were like this for 2 years. And my mother told her to take cider vinegar. She said, take just a tablespoon of cider vinegar with a teaspoon of honey and some hot water every day. And we're not sure if my grandmother drank the whole cider vinegar bottle or not, but she screamed. She'd taken this, and then the next morning she screamed. Her hands were flat on the bed. And my
Wow.
uncle sort of went to see what was going on, and that was it helped her. It helped her
Wow.
bones, yeah. And but it helps other parts of your system as well. It helps your stomach and your intestines and all kinds of things. So I love cider vinegar, so take that. And I've got lots of other things that I do, but it's not necessarily for this. But I'm drinking tea, drinking hot tea, and making sure that I've always got something hot here that I'm drinking, and also gargling at night with salt as well, salt water, warm salt water. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sure there's other things that I'm doing as well. I can't think of them right now. So yeah, what are you doing? Barbara said I like to make tea with chaga. Chaga, I'm not sure what that is.
Mushrooms, chaga mushrooms. Yeah.
Chaga mush. Oh,
Oh,
that's right. I do know that. And birch polypore. I don't know what birch polypore is, but I'm assuming that comes from a tree.
Yeah, it
Birch.
might be antiviral and antibacterial also.
mm.
Like a part of arco is the bark. So yeah, garlic is great. But one thing about the gargling is something that in the United States we don't talk about much. But growing up in Japan, every kid gargled in school. And when I got home, my mom will be like, we have to take shoes off in Japan, right? So the first thing you do, wash your hands and gargle, or you couldn't come inside. I mean, come inside as into the kitchen or anything. But the gargling is amazing. So I really, really recommend it, not just for the viral or bacterial things, but it actually stimulates the back of the ears area. This is where the vagal nervous system, so vagal tone basically splits right here and it comes back together. So it stimulates it by gargling. So I recommend is to gargle really hard I do like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So I'm literally going, I'm literally doing that. It's a great way to stimulate the autonomic nervous system and stimulate as in toning. So you don't get flipped over to the fight or flight constantly, or you're not always on like a freeze either. It just balances. So it's coming back to the balance again. But the parasympathetic, which is the rest, digest, eliminate, detox, and heal. So do gargling, everyone. I mean, hand washing, great. Neti pot, fabulous. Neti pot is like getting a sinus rinsed, right? That's fabulous. But the gargling has an incredible abilities to stimulate your and tone your autonomic nervous system, which will help your immune system.
And would you recommend doing that with salt? Because I've also heard you could do tea tree, like a drop of tea tree. And
the base should always be the saline solution. So you want to do salt, right? In that, I do a little drop of tea tree, like you said. Sometimes I'll do liquid iodine in there. I sometimes do lavender in there. Lemon oil. Really just muscle test yourself and see which oil really speaks to you. But the tea tree is great right now. I think Theve oil is a fabulous. So if you could get them, use Theve oil and Thieves. thieves oil. That's a fabulous mixture of the oil that you can just put. Don't go overboard, just one drop or so is great. But yeah.
Oh, somebody does a gargle concert according to her husband.
A gargle concert. I love that. I'm gonna talk to my husband about that gargling.
Yeah, Beth wants to know how much salt to water.
What do you do gargle in Japan with? And I forgot one more ingredient. I always use liquid iodine. So iodine has been used for centuries, with cuts and any bacteria or viral or anything. You just put maybe a 1-2 drop, get a dropper, and then you put a couple drops into your saline solution and gargle. That's fabulous.
So if you want to make a saline solution yourself, how much salt do you add to the water?
About 4 ounces of water. I put about half a teaspoon. So it's really, it should taste almost like if you went swimming and then swallowed the little ocean water. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I think I dump more salt in there.
I will go and try this out.
It really depends on your constitution, and for you, Elizabeth, you're a little more on a Vata side. I don't know, you guys familiar with Ayurveda, but Ayurveda constitution, you're a little more Vata. Vatas really do well with salt because it's very grounding to you and nourishing to your tissues. And somebody said silver. Yeah, colloidal silver is a wonderful liquid you can get.
Yeah.
You put a couple droplets in there. You can actually even swallow that. I swallow liquid zinc, iodine, silver, and I put the same solution up my nose, just so you know.
Beth wants to know if it's okay to do the Himalayan pink salt.
That's something. The salt is an interesting topic. I can go on and on with the salt, so I'll try to zip it pretty quickly. But you want to muscle test yourself, okay? And
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, what I tell people is that salt is so connected to your cellular, who you are, and it's your ancestors. And even connected to your past lives, of where you've been in your past lives with the salt. Mm-hmm. So make sure you don't get caught up in using only one type. Go to the store and muscle test yourself. I use about 6 different salts. 3 are from my hometown. 1 is a Celtic sea salt. 1 is actually a Hawaiian salt. Another one's from Mexico. I do well with a little bit more ocean-based salts, somewhere that's been exposed to ocean, than the pink Himalayan. Pink Himalayan just doesn't do much for me. I don't know exactly why, but my body is like neutral with it. So play around with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And I think it's good to muscle test for everything as well, because I have this vegan bar, and every now and again I muscle test to see if I can have it yet. And my body keeps saying no. And it was funny because I got a different box. Yeah. I've got a different box of these bars, and I muscle tested for the other box, and I was okay to eat those. It was just this one box that was saying, no, that's not the right one to do. And with muscle testing, actually I use my body as the pendulum rather than doing the muscle testing here. So I'm standing in the kitchen. Is this good for me? My body's going back. No.
I'm one of those weird people with my husband. Every fruit, every vegetables, we're doing it in the grocery store, and we even do our muscle. My husband's pushing it. Last night in Costco we were doing that too, so we're the crazy people. So
that's it. It's good to do that because we're all different, and that's the thing with all this information about take this, take that, take the other. It's what's good for you, because you might not need it as well.
Sharon is asking how you do the test.
How you do the test.
What I personally do is that I will keep it. I don't think you do that, Elizabeth, but I will. If I wanted to know if this is a good essence for me, I would put it like this in front of my heart, and then stand and I ask myself, it's the right thing. I ask my higher self, it's the right thing, and my body elemental, obviously. And then when you sort of move forwards, it's a yes. And if you move backwards, it's a no. And it can be very, very subtle, this movement. And if you stay in between, which can happen, it's a neutral. So, it's not bad for you, but you don't really need it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, like, I only have this water. Sorry, I should have brought like lemons and things, but you literally just place it right on your sternum, so it's your heart center. And then in the beginning, it's helpful to close your eyes because most of our senses are coming through our eyes, and these can be very distracting. So in the beginning, till you get very used to it, close your eyes and then allow your body to do the lean. So I'm just going to close my eyes here. And see, I'm very neutral with this right now because I've had plenty of water, but I'm going to imagine that I'm thirsty. Okay, so hold on. Then did you see? I just go forward. Yeah. So it's that quick, but it requires practice, and you want to trust yourself, So
yeah.
I usually start with asking, especially if you've never done this before, is to just stand with your legs about shoulder apart and just have your knees slightly bent, so you're not all stiff. And then just allow your body to wobble around. You know how you've seen those wibbly wobbly dolls? I don't know if you remember those. So you're just allowing your body to just kind of move. And then you come to your center. So you're coming into this place where you're anchored into the earth, really, but you can still move. And then ask yourself a question that isn't true. So you can ask yourself, is my name Fred? And then your body will move. My body goes backwards. Masami and Catholine's body goes backwards. Yours might do something different.
Fred.
Yes.
Am I Fred? I usually say Fred, but if your name's Fred, then use a different name. And then say, is my name whatever your name is, and see where your body goes. And that would be your yes. You can also say to your body, what is my no? You can say, what is my yes? And use it from that. And you can also say, what is my energy? So that was when Cathelijne and when Masami said that your body was just staying still. For me, my energy is my body tends to go in a counterclockwise direction.
Right, yeah.
But again, everyone's different. So it's noticing that. Notice the difference between yes and no. There's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. And so then try it with the water or with anything else. Do I need this right now? And then your body will show you, because your body's intelligent. It's
it's just like Laura says, it's using your body as a pendulum. That's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I haven't used pendulum, actual pendulum in a long time, because this is your pendulum. It's always with you. Your body never leaves you. So it's a great tool. Anytime, anywhere. I even use it to say, should I take this highway home or should I take that road home?
That's right.
I started practicing that years ago. And then I go home and check the map and go, oh, yes, I did it. So you build up your muscles. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. It's your intuition that's moving you, and that's the thing with a pendulum, with a regular pendulum. When you've got that, you're doing the same thing. But for me, occasionally I'll use my pendulum, but I find that my body is so much, it has more truth, or I'm not as connected to the outcome. I let the outcome go, and my body seems to be, it comes to the truth much quicker than any other way.
Yes, Laura, you can do that with your potential relationship with a man. Yes.
You can. But the problem is sometimes is that your emotions can get in the way, your thoughts can get in the way. So you really have to clear everything out of your energy field and not have a preconceived thought. It's like thinking, okay, so am I going to win the lottery? Yes. It's getting that desire out of the way so you get to the truth.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So sending love to everyone around the world, said Linda. I love that. So Dina said, I liked the rest of Masami with two hands. Can you show it? I'm not sure what that
I know.
Oh, the hat. Oh, yeah. That's the test.
Like that.
Okay, yeah.
So make sure that the other fingers are touching the thumb side. Yeah. And I know
so that you get it on the pulse, isn't it? That's it. It's getting it on the pulse. That's what I was got confused with, because it's like
when in our screen flips, I'm like, where am I going with this?
That was funny. Oh my goodness. That's it. Yeah. We should freeze frame that picture. Just put it up there with them sewing it.
I'm a hand model, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and with the nutrients and things right now, I'm sorry to chime in here again. But
No, it's good. It's good.
The thing is, you open your inbox or internet or whatever, and then it's just take this, take that, supplement this with your immune system, blah, blah, blah. The fact is, your body just has its own natural rhythm with it, so you can't be bombarding yourself with crazy milligrams of vitamin C's and crazy amount of vitamin D and crazy amount of vitamin A. I mean, we have to remember that the more isn't always better. And our terrain of our bodies might not be able to hold it. So there are two different theories in the world of functional nutrition that I'm in, and, the world of body. One is a germ theory, and the other is a terrain theory. So germ theory is basically there's a singular problem like COVID-19, or there's a singular bacteria, and you try to attack it with a bunch of things. And, sometimes we use great amount of supplements to do so. But what we want to think about is, how do I make a beautiful garden for this spring? You can't just be putting a bunch of seeds on the concrete thinking, the flower's going to come out of it somehow. That's kind of what we're doing with a bunch of immune nutrients right now. So what we need to do is, what can we do for the soil? What can we do to create the terrain that is supportive? So that's kind of what the earth is asking all of us to do right now, right? Shut down the factories, clear the sky so no people are flying. So you want to do the same thing with your own terrain. So please don't go overboard with a lot of this immune support, because one, it's expensive pee. Okay, you will be peeing a lot of it out. Number two, fat soluble vitamins like D, E, and A and K. Those are fat soluble vitamins, and they are important, but too much can become very toxic. So this is where the muscle testing that we've been talking about becomes very important. I'm more of a gentle approacher. I don't like to go bombarding our bodies with too much dosing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Be kind, be kind, be kind. I think that kindness and gentleness is what we need to come out to do. That's the light, So we're not going in there with the bulldozers and punching it through. It's like that's the way that we've been living. I heard our president said, the COVID-19 is like a terrorist attack kind of a thing, and we fight this, and it's a war against us. And I thought, oh my gosh, stop that language. That language isn't going to solve this. This is about embracing. This is about kindness. This is about gentleness, and bring light into this situation, not more, how do we fight this, and, let's go against this war. Like, we've got...
Yeah, because that just puts you in fight flight, doesn't it? So it puts you out of the parasympathetic, and it puts it will dampen your immune system as well, which is, from a physical standpoint, why it's so important to deal with the fear and move into the love, and to, embrace it and be compassionate and go into more of a meditative state, because that can also calm the nervous system down, and then the self-healing can set in again. Yeah.
You got it.
That's it. That meditation is going to be so important, coming back to the self. And this is an opportunity, a time to do that. And I was thinking to myself the other day how we've been saying, with videos and things like this, they're going viral. And I think that it's probably good to take that out of unplug that from our consciousness, that something is viral, and we're using it in our language to send all this information around. It's viral. So maybe we can change our language as well, with certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So makes it much more possible.
May love become viral, right? Expand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's also so difficult to deal with the situation in the media. I mean, you're sort of almost forced to stay on board with the media because governments will tell you what to do and, you know, how many people can go into a shop and things like that. So you sort of need to be online for that a little bit. But there's so much focus on disease, focus on death, focus on numbers. Here in the Netherlands, we've got numbers for the amount of people that have been tested in hospital, how many are dead, but they don't have numbers for the amount of people that are recovered. They don't test that. That's interesting, isn't it? Because that would give a great sense of hope, and that would help shift the focus from, okay, isn't it interesting that some people will get this to a much larger degree than others? Others are, you know, there's a story of a lady who was 95, I think either in Italy or Austria, and she had it and she was 95 and she survived and she's well again. So it's very much about what can we do to make sure that our immune system can deal with it in the right way, instead of, oh my God, what's coming towards me? Will it kill me? Kind of thing.
That's right.
So it's not to ignore what's going on, but if you constantly focus on one thing, what you give your attention to does increase. So, that's...
Yeah. And I think the emphasis has been, how do I not get this? And, I might be kind of the crazy voice out there, but I don't look at it that way. I just say, I'm not going to focus on how do I not get it, because then, I'm putting the emphasis on not getting. Then that's where the energy swirls around. So I just say, whatever needs to come through me and within me, I welcome it. But at the same time, I am going to do what I can to create a very healthy filtering system and discernment, So it's time to practice that kind of stillness, because discernment is very difficult to practice when you're distracted by the media, the news, the fear, the anxiety. So discernment comes when you're in the still water. So calming ourselves, creating the quiet time, so that you can say, okay, I'm not going to emphasize not getting, but how do I create more light? How do I create strong immune system? When can I go to bed a little earlier? Can I go for a little walk? Whatever that may be. So we can start to shift towards cultivating the terrain. That's where we need to focus, not germ theory of this is what I don't want to get.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, where attention goes, energy flows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's coming back to that place of positive mindset, of having a positive mindset, so that then we create this incredible immune system that we have. It's just waiting for us to plug that thought in, isn't it? And resetting it. Yeah, recalibrating it.
Sure. That's always also an interesting thing, I think. Not many of you maybe know this, but I worked as a psychologist for 15 years. And I was a cognitive behavioral therapist. And what I noticed with my clients back then was that they could sort of see it differently, but they would still not feel it differently. And that was a very difficult shift to make. What I found now is that, we have neuroplasticity. So that means that our brain is changeable. If we are in a state of fear, what happens is that certain neural circuits keep firing, and neurons that fire together wire together, so it becomes this sort of highway of the same type of thoughts, the same type of stress hormones, the same type of feelings. So you want to leave that highway and you want to sort of retrain your brain, really. And what's so interesting is you can bring yourself into a different feeling state. And you can do that either by bringing yourself back to a time in when you were really, really happy, really peaceful, really at ease, and then totally step into that self and describe it to yourself as if you are there, bring in all the senses. You can equally do that by fast forwarding. So, we can sort of bring ourselves into the future, and this is a lot what light workers do without it being sort of meant as neural retraining, because that's what we do when we visualize a new earth, for instance, in a meditation. But you bring yourself forward into a different mindset, a different state of being where you are already healed, or where the world at large is already healed. And then the trick is to describe it as if you're there. So I am seeing this, and this is happening, and I'm smelling such, and I'm hearing such, and make it like it's here and now with all your senses. And then what you can do, and this is something that Elizabeth will like, you can ask yourself, if this state had a color, what color would it be? And then you take in that color and you let it sort of flow either into your heart or into your body, downwards or upwards or spiraling, or however it wants to do it. And that brings a certain energy into your body, and that actually does change how you feel. So then you sort of connect different thinking and different feeling, because you change your state. And I think that's also something that we could sort of tap into.
Yeah, and along with that, so I'm trained in positive neuroplasticity work as well. So I totally relate to that, and it's called having the beneficial experience. So you tap into that, what has happened. Often it helps to think about maybe puppies, cats, your little cute babies, flowers, whatever you love, and then stay in that and describe it. And like you said, that incorporating colors and things. And what I do is to bring one more step further to tap into the actual physiology. So I would actually tap, doing EMDR on my body, or, just so that tactily we're here. And so whether you can even cross your arms and tap, or, you could do the emotional freedom technique, but that's not what I'm kind of talking about. It's actually feeling your body existing in this moment, in that future-oriented thinking, while you're here. So incorporating all that sound, smell, even sensations, and then use your hands to be here. Thank you for bringing that up.
I love that. And one of the things I do to even go further than that is to look back as well at where you've come from. So in that future place is looking back to how you got there.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I think it's probably time for us to kind of have a rest now.
Really? I could just sit here and I could just go make some lunch and we can share it.
That's right. I was kind of plugging my husband in for his breakfast with his buddies, online. Doing that out as well. So they could have their breakfast, and chat with it's just getting them all figured out. Yeah. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop Cathelijne and Masami's websites into the description and into the comments. I can't do it on here, but so when we finished, I'll put that information into so that you've got it. And is there anything you want to leave people with at all? Is there anything you want to share or not? Whatever feels good. Well,
I wanted to say, if you go to my website, just type in masamicovey.com. But I just recorded a meditation that's called Soham breathing meditation. And if you just click on the blog page, it will be the first thing that will pop up. And my husband plays harmonium, so he did the harmonium music as a background. So that's great for GABA wave, or the brain wave, to support that too. So that's that. And I'm sorry to plug in, but I love this program I just came up with yesterday. It's to support more of a synergistically working together. It's the intentions that we can bring together. So I decided to do like a 5 people only 2-hour intuitive health reading. And I made it super affordable, but it's just 5 of us together that you get to bring that intention to healing. And then I will answer individually. You'll get about 20 minutes with me that I will read, and I will intuitively support you. And I, as you know, I'm very practical too, so I'll go there too. But it's 2 hours you get to spend with me. So, if you want to, interested in, please check it out. And I'm putting a lot of free contents out, and I'm working on a giant list of things to support during this time. And that should go out next week. So, yeah.
I like that. Giant list.
Giant list. Send it over.
That's lovely. Thank you, Masami.
Yeah,
Cathelijne, is there anything you want to share?
I think the most important thing was the bit that I just said about how we can sort of retrain our own brains.
Yeah.
Before we started, I'm not going to tell you about my current products or anything, because most of the new things that I'm doing and the free things I'm doing are in Dutch at the moment. So that's a bit not so helpful for most. Though I have a couple of I've already seen a couple of Dutches there.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Ian. Hi, Monique. So, but they already know that. So I do work in English, but it's not the main focus right now. But before we tuned in, I did. I sat in the garden for a little bit because we have some great blue skies right now.
Oh.
Bluer than they usually are, with almost no planes going over. So I took in a little bit of sunshine, and I took that moment to tune into my spirit guide team and ask, if there's anything important. And what really came through from Archangel Michael was that there is a deep cleansing going, also of the collective trauma and of collective fear, and that it's so important for us as light workers to keep focused in our own light and keep sharing our light with a lot of compassion and empathy for others. But that there, if every light worker on the planet manages to keep aligned to their own soul and to their own light, we will reach a critical mass that will help use this time to make really positive change that is very needed, because you can see the effect of what's happening. It's like the people can't breathe, but Mother Earth can. So this is a time that if we take on board the deeper lessons that are there, we can change the way we interact with each other, the way we treat our own bodies, the way we treat our Mother Earth. And it could be a time that leads to really, really positive and beautiful change, but it is also up to us to stay focused in the light, to really stay focused in the light, and to focus on, he showed me like there was two timelines. We're talking again about there was two timelines, and if enough people manage to do this, to keep grounded in their light and to focus on where we want to go, we can make a sort of shift in a different way of being together, moving towards, what many call a new earth, or what we can call 5D. So I think that's important for everybody to keep that focus on, even if it gets a bit hard at times, then we need each other for support. But yeah, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're right. We do need each other for support. It's very important. It's very important.
Yeah.
So thank you. Look, looks like you've got somebody in there already popping your website in there, Masami.
That's good.
Little helpers in there.
You can type my name or that, and it'll get to the same place. But
there was also something interesting I saw come up, and that was Laurel Davis. She said there's also an online website that gives you just good news. It's goodnewsnetwork.org. So
they've been around for a while. I love that. That good news.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to get off, but one of the things that I'm trained as a pranayama person, so I love breathing. I love breathing techniques. So please do whatever you can to breathe. And that Soham breathing is a mantra. It's basically, I am that is what you repeat. And it's an infinity. So it's like you started with the 8. It's Soham meditation. It's all about creating number 8 inside you. So it's fabulous to continue to do that in breath, out breath. And just to remember words like worry actually, the word origin of the word means to choke, and anxiety is to strangle. So when we have that, when we are having that in the universe and in around us and within us, we're kind of making ourselves choking and strangled and small, and then we're gasping for air. So it's allowing that body to open up and then physically do some, movements like this is very important this time. Just doing the breath in, breath out. Use your body to incorporate so that you can release it, disperse it through the body. I do sometimes like this. I brush it off a lot, because it gets stored on your body. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Sweet. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for being
very
here.
welcome.
And thank you, everyone. Yeah,
Elizabeth,
thanks everyone for being
can you
here.
say something more? I want to end it with your voice because I love your voice.
I think what we might do is, I think that it might be good just to send energy out. So that if we just spend a few minutes sending energy out and all of us together to do that at the same time, that would be good. So let's just for a moment close our eyes. We do a lot of this closing your eyes. And as Masami said, it's just to, it's just to block out outside stimuli and focus inward. So close your eyes, take a few deep cleansing breaths. Allow that breath to go right down into your feet. So not just into your lungs, it goes right down into your feet. And as you breathe out, let go of all the words that are around you right now that you don't need to embrace. You don't need to have them in your energy system. And embrace instead the words that are positive, that make you feel good, that bring joy, love, happiness, peace into every cell of your being. So let's imagine that vibration of love. You might imagine a person that you love. You might imagine the energy of love. You might imagine a symbol that represents love to you. And just allow that love to infuse every cell of your being, all your brain cells, the timeline of energy that is you. So it's going back through time and it's going forward in time. And it's going back into previous lifetimes, this energy of love. And as it goes back into previous lifetimes, it also connects to all the people, all the relationships that you've had, even if they were brief. And it's connecting to all the guides, all the angels that have helped you in those lifetimes and that continue to help you now in this lifetime. And as you focus on that energy of love, now send it out to your family and your friends. Send it out to your community, not just to the people, but to the earth, to the creatures, to the animals, to the birds, to the elementals, to all those beings of light who help to create, manifest, maintain this earth that we live on. Keep sending out that love to the country that you're in. Keep sending out that love to the oceans, to the other countries. Send out that love to the electromagnetic vibration that is around us. To the sun, to all the planets in our solar system, to all the stars, and beyond, to the universes that maybe we don't know consciously in this lifetime, but we may have known in previous lifetimes. Keep sending that love to all those who have passed into spirit, and to all those that are preparing to come again into this lifetime, to be born now. Keep sending that love to all those beings of light who work with us, surrounding us with their love, their support, their guidance. And let's come back to that vision that we started with, of all of us in a circle with a fire in the middle or a crystal in the middle, table in the middle, whatever that vision was for you. And let's imagine that we are all holding hands. And in our circle, we are sending love and receiving love. That's it. Can you feel that? And as we give and receive this love, the love just grows. And at the center of our circle, it becomes a beam of love that is now sent out to the planet, to all those who live on her. And I want you to make an intention that this love is being sent out continually, that this love is being received continually. And that any time you feel challenged, fear, stress, anxiety, any time you feel anything that isn't positive for you, then just come back to this vibration of love. Come back to this vision of love. Come back to the receptivity of love. That's it. And whenever you feel ready, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, open your eyes.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye for now, everyone. Be safe and well.
Yes, breathe.
Bye.